What's up with you? If you don't know who I am Jesse Epps. And if you don't know my background story, literally, I came from drug dealing and I started my own business and became a multi-millionaire. And what I'm doing today is I'm going to give you 11 strategies on what you need to do so you can become a millionaire even faster, right? I'm going to give you all of the strategies, going to be 11 of them. So make sure you taking notes, make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you implement this though. Like, I want you to take action. So don't just listen to these strategies and never use them. Actually listen to the strategies and go use them. Like, implement it. Take action steps. And this is what's going to separate you from being where you are right now to going where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? To scaling, to getting to the next level, to becoming a millionaire, to becoming a trillionaire if you want to, even, right? You got to implement. So always take action. So number one is you don't drive your wealth, right? A lot of people jump out there and they'll go get luxury cars, but if you don't understand, as soon as you take that luxury car off the lot, it loses its value, right? It's not the same car. So let's say you spent 100,000 on that car, and as soon as you took it off the lot, it's a wrap. You could not bring that same car back and get what you spent for it. So that 100,000 now has depreciated. So look, a lot of people jump out there because they want to look good. They want to, go get the most expensive things. But most of the rich people, most of the wealthy people, what they do is they go buy like cars that they can pay cash for. They don't spend their money on liabilities because that is like a type of liability that you're not gonna get any return on, right? So they'll go get like cash cars, buy a car that's already paid off. So they ain't got to worry about, they already still got to worry about the repairs and stuff like that. So why be paying an expensive note on something like that where you could just be going to get a car that you could just pay cash for and be done, right? Well, what the wealthy people do is they invest in, assets. They invest their money into, different things, like so they can have leverage. So they have portfolios, maybe doing like angel investing, maybe, real estate, maybe even cryptocurrency now. They're trying to leverage their money because they don't want to continue to chase money. Like 95% of the world, what they're doing is they're just chasing money. They go to work this 9 to 5, chase the paper, then they go get another job, then they go get another job, and they still be in that same boat, right? So you don't want that to be you. So definitely don't go out there and try to spend your money on all this luxury stuff, when you should be putting that money into assets, which is going to make you money. So the whole goal of this is to make money while you sleep. When you're making money while you sleep, this is how the wealthy get wealthy. You know how you probably heard that saying, the rich get richer. And it's not because they any smarter than you. It's just they know how to where to put their money, how to leverage their money so that when they are sleeping, guess what? Their money is working for them. They don't have to go get 10 jobs, 8 jobs and try to chase the money because at the end of the day, guess what you have to do? You got to get some rest. You got to go to sleep. So no matter how many jobs you have, it's still only 24 hours in a day, and you can't work for 24 hours. And if you do, you're going to kill yourself. So you don't want to kill yourself. You want to go ahead and take that money that you make and invest that into assets. Don't invest it into things that's not going to bring you back money, right? That's cars, that's jewelry and stuff like that. Later on you can do that, but when you're trying to get to millionaire status, when you're trying to get to wealthy status, then you got to invest that money the right way so the money can always work for you. So now when you are rolling in the money, guess what? Now you can go get the luxury car. You can go get the jewelry. You can go get the nice name brand clothes or whatever. Because now your money's working for you and now it's compounding and you're not chasing money anymore. Number two, you want to pay yourself first, right? The average millionaire saves and invests at least 64% of their income. So a lot of people, that's out working right now, they don't pay themselves. They worry about they pay all their bills and stuff beforehand, and at the end of the day, they don't have anything, right? So what you want to do is you want to make yourself the first priority. You want to pay yourself. So when you make money, guess what? You're the first priority. Everybody else, they come secondary, third. You can pay your bills and all that, but listen, pay yourself first, right? Never live bigger than your paycheck, because a lot of people will make money and then they go out and get more expensive things, create more bills. Now the money that's coming in is going right back out. So that's why you see a lot of people who are millionaires and stuff like that. And then you're like, well, how can they be broke right now? You see the celebrities and stuff like that, and they don't have any money, or the net worth is like worth nothing. It's because the more money that they were making, they started creating more bills. They started creating more issues for themselves. So now the money is coming in, but it's also going out, right? So you want to live like an undercover millionaire. So just be regular. You don't have to, you don't got to showboat, that you out here moving like that. You don't have to showboat like that. If you think about it, probably the rich people that you probably don't even know that they're rich. Like you would probably have to know, or they would have to tell you, or somebody else would have to tell, hey, look, that guy right there, he's a millionaire, because they live average. They don't go out and spend money on all the designer clothes. They're not spending $30,000 for one shirt, you know, $15,000 for a pair of shoes. They're not doing that because it doesn't really make sense. Why spend that much money when you can just buy some regular clothes and still look sweet? I mean, but your bank account is looking fat, right? That's the whole point. The whole point is not to just showboat the wealth and let everybody know, because now all your money is going into these other things that's this liabilities, like I already talked about before. So you want to be saving that money, right? You want to look undercover. You want to be low key. Like people shouldn't even know that you're a millionaire. Like they would have to know you to know that you're making that type of money. So just be easy. Like just don't waste the money. You know what I'm saying? Like try to keep the majority of it so that you can live wealthy, so you can, have your family good. Like everybody can move. I mean, you can travel when you want to. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Because you already built it. So don't go out there just because you start making a little bit more money and then you go spend it at the same time, because that's where the issue is going to come into play. And you don't want to be like these celebrities or these people that were rich, but now the money that they're making, they may be making several millions of dollars, but the money's going out the door. So they're breaking even, just like someone living paycheck to paycheck that's out here working 9 to 5, you know, busting their butt, trying to bring the money home. But at the end of the day, there's no money left. So you don't want to be a rich broke person, right? You want to be able to keep that money, keep that bread in your household, compound on it. So now the money that you are bringing in now is just doubling up. It's tripling up. You just making more money, more money, more money. So look, be low key, man. Be low key when you get this money. Like let it pile up. And then if you want to buy yourself something, later on when you got that fat, you got about 890 sitting in your account, and that's a whole different story right now. Now you speaking a whole different story, but don't make the money and then be spending it at the same time. You want to be consolidating whatever you going out. I mean, live like you've been living. So if you staying somewhere, let's say you staying in an apartment, there's the rent is affordable, $1,500 or whatever like that, man. Try to live like that until you want to upgrade, but don't upgrade as you're making the money, because now the money that you thought you were making is going out the door. So my philosophy for that is, if you can't buy that thing at least 10 times, then you don't need to have it right now. So you got to wait until your money piles up. So now, like, let's just say it is some jewelry or a car that you want to buy, right? Let's just say for easy number, $50,000 or something like that. If you can't spend that thing, if you can't spend it 10 times and still have a whole lot of money left, then you can't afford it. So if you can't buy that same item or that same thing that you want 10 times, then you shouldn't be going out there buying it, because that means you can't afford it. So look, man, move low, lay low, keep that money coming in, man, so it can grow. Then later on, you can do what you want to do. Number 3, avoid the lifestyle creep, right? I spoke on it in number 2 just a little bit, but we're going to call this like trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? You may know some people that's doing better than you, and you like, oh, he just went and got a Lambo. I want to go get a Lambo too. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses, right? Because it's going to continue to eat away at your wealth. And you don't want to be trying to keep up with somebody else. They bank account may be way bigger than yours, so they can afford these things. So you got to still live at your level, right? You just don't let that, like that I mean, it'll play in your mind, right? Because you always, if you haven't had it before, then of course you're gonna want that thing. Of course you're gonna, want to go out and buy these toys and buy these things that you never had before. But you gotta wait until it's time to do that, right? You gotta wait until it's time to do that. So what I want you to do is save money, save more money, get more money, save more money. Like continue to save your money. Don't go out there and just spending it just haphazardly because, like I said, trying to keep up with the Joneses has got a lot of people stuck right now. You probably know a few people right now, even on a paycheck level, they try to go keep up with the Joneses, and guess what? They put themselves in a bind. They don't have money at the end of the day. So you don't want that to be you. So don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. All right. And you will be tempted. And I'm not gonna lie. When I first started making some type of money, of course I was tempted to do a lot of things, but it was good that I didn't get the money that I had before until I was, mature enough to really get it. Because if I was younger and I had it and I didn't have any guidance or I didn't have any knowledge of how to get to this next level or how to build wealth, then guess what? I'd have been in the same boat. Just been spending the money because I had it, because I was trying to impress the people that was around me. So just don't get caught up in that, man. Like really focus, lock in, and focus on what you are trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, because it's at the end of the day, it's about building that generational wealth for you and your family. Yeah, you can live in a moment right now, but then at the end of the day, if nothing's left, then what? What did you really do it for? Now you back out there trying to figure out how to get it again. That's not the game. The game is to get it and keep it, not get it and lose it, right? You don't want to be one of those people who hit the lottery and then they spend all the money, they give all the money away to their family members. They just blowing the bread, right? Then at the end of the day, now they have nothing. They didn't gave it all away. They didn't spent all of it, and now they at ground zero. Now they out looking for a job. Now they out trying to chase that money, or maybe they commit suicide. I mean, these things happen because people had the money, but they didn't know how to keep it. So I want you to know how to keep the money. Like this is what you want to do, man. Keep your money so that you don't have to go through with these people, that got rich and then lost it all. You don't want to be on one of them stories at 30 for 30 or whatever. You don't want to be that story. So look, keep your money. Just lay low with it. Do what you got to do to keep it, save it, and I promise you, you'll get to that millionaire status. Number 4, you want to grow your network. A degree is good, but a network is better, right? One of the greatest indicators of future success for you is going to be determined by the people who are surrounded, who are surrounding you, your circle. Who is around you? Who are you listening to? Who is giving you knowledge? Who are you giving knowledge to? Right? Your network is everything. So network equity is better than anything, right? People think that just having a lot of money is everything, but knowing people and networking with people can get you way further than your money can. So we call that relationship equity. So you always want to be networking with people who are doing bigger and better things than you. Because guess what? If you look in your phone right now and you go down your call log, who could you call that's making, 1 million? Who could you call that's making 10 million? Do you have any of those type of numbers in your phone? If you don't, then you're probably in the wrong network. Like you gotta be networking with people who are way above where you are, because if you have nobody to look up to, how can you get there? Right? You want to be able to climb the ladder and have somebody that's doing way better than you be able to pull you up, because they have the knowledge, they have things that they can teach you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you should already know you are in the wrong room, right? So build and maintain these meaningful relationships, and I promise you, this is going to take you way further than any dollar that you have, right? You may think you got a lot of money and it really means something, but for me, you could take all my money from me, put me in the right room with the right people, and guess what? I can get that back. Because if I fall on my back, guess what? I got other people in my network. I can be like, hey, look, you know, I done fell on my back, but I know that you doing this. Teach me. You always want to be taught. You want to be taught how to fish, right? You don't want anybody giving you anything, because if somebody gives you something, then you don't have the knowledge. You can't, if you fall, you can't even get back up because you don't know how. So this network is going to be very important for you. I'm talking about, like, this should be like your number one thing, to continue to be networking with more people, building your network, having a greater influence on other people, where you're helping people and people will be able to help you as well. So networking is going to be like your number one thing that you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. You should be talking to people. When you're meeting people, you should be talking to them, seeing what they do. I mean, you never know who you'll run into. Like, you'll run into people that you've heard the saying. The saying is, um, it's not about, it was not about what you do, what you know. It's about who you know. Like, this, it's a real thing. Think about how many people, probably you coming up, that got promoted, not because of they were smarter than you. It was because they knew somebody that was right there, and guess what they did? They just pulled them in. So that's what I'm telling you. This is how important it is, because you may you may go somewhere, and because you built this big network of people, now you walk into a room and you see somebody that you know. Do you think that if it was somebody that they didn't know, opposed to somebody that they knew, who you think they're gonna bring in the room, regardless of what your credentials are or anything? But because you know these people, you in this network, this is how you're gonna get ahead. So always be putting yourself out there, always be meeting new people, always be in position to meet a new friend. Right? I tell everybody, yes, I got some of my old friends. I do. But guess what? I'm into meeting new friends who are doing better than me. So I'm not into meeting new friends who just want to go out and drink and go to the club and stuff like that. No, I'm good. I got those friends already. Those are my friends that I've grew up with, and we're going to go do that. But I'm not looking for those type of friends now. I'm looking for the friends that's able to teach me something that I can learn from. I don't want to be the smartest man in the room. I want to be around some smart people so I can learn. And this is the way that I'm going to grow. And this is the same way of what you need to do, so you will be able to grow in whatever way you need to grow. Maybe that's spiritually. You may network with people like that. Financially. I mean, it's so many different categories. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship. There's so many different categories, so many different people that you can meet. You got to continue to put yourself out there, and I promise you, this will get you ahead of way more people than a person that's just in the house, that's not networking with anybody. They just by themselves trying to figure it out. Nah, you got to get from behind the desk, get from behind the computer, get out there, network with these people, network with more people, continue to make friends. And these friends are going to be your new friends, which is going to get you and catapult you ahead. Number 5, create multiple streams of income. I know you probably heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Yes, that is a saying. So I do want you to focus on multiple streams, but hear me out. I want you to focus on one stream first. So a lot of people like to go out there, start, doing this, and then they do this, and they do this, do this, do this, do this, and they got all these streams, right? But you can't spread yourself so thin like that, because now you never focused on one of the streams to get that going. So the whole thing about multiple streams of income is you got to get one stream flowing first. Once you get that stream flowing, now you can start feeding the other streams, because now you have the money, you have whatever you need to be able to fuel the other streams of income. So don't be like me, because previously years ago, what I did, and I had to realize this, is I had that mind frame. I was like, okay, I heard the multiple streams of income. I'm gonna do that. So I went out, started doing real estate, right? Got my real estate license. Then I went out, I got my life insurance license. Then I went out, I was doing all type of stuff, right? But I could never get ahead for some reason. I'm like, man, what is going on? I got my real estate license, I got my life insurance license. I'm trying. Nothing's working. I'm doing network marketing stuff. I'm just all over the place, right? And the reason why I wasn't able to be a success or have success was because I was all over the place. I never focused and locked in on anything. I only give it like, a few months. If it didn't work, now I'm on to the next thing. I would get that thing a few months, now I'm on to the next thing. And this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to spread yourself thin, right? I want you to focus. Get something that you want to focus on first. Focus on that thing. You can always have the other things that you want to do, yes, write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, I want to do this. Next, I want to do this. Next, I want to do this. You can have this stuff lined up, right? So after you figure out that first thing and you make that lucrative, money's flowing in. Now you got the stream that's running over. Now you can start running that over into the other stream that you wanted to do. Now you go to the next step. Now you can start feeding this. And this is how the rich people get richer, because they've already created wealth in one lane, right? They took that lane, got the wealth. Now they use that same wealth, and now they're using leverage in all these other streams. So they're not the ones doing the work. They're not the ones gotta put in the sweat equity. Now all they gotta do is, because they created something, they focused on that stream. Now they've grown that to be substantial. Now they got that money or whatever it is to feed these other streams. So now their life is easier, because now they can use leverage. Now they can hire the right people. So they don't have to do the work, because they've already created the stream that they needed to feed all this other stuff. So yes, multiple streams of income. But listen to what I said. Get the one stream flowing first. Focus. Lock in on that thing like your life depends on it. Because if you understand that once you do that, get that one stream flowing like you need it to, everything else becomes easier. All the other streams are going to become easier, because now you can leverage everything. Yes, starting out, you're going to have to be the one. You got to jump out there. You're going to have to jump in the trenches and be the one to do everything, right? You got to start from the bottom. You got to start from the bottom. But you're going to grow this thing. You're going to continue to do what you need to do to get it flowing like you want it to flow. Now, when you do that, now you use leverage. So now that's when you roll it over into these other streams. And now you don't have to be the one jumping in the trenches. Now you can hire a person that's already been in the trenches, and they know they probably have more knowledge than you to get that thing going. Now you just pay them to do the dirty work. But you get the benefit from it now, because now you don't have to do the work. Now you just receiving the check because you've already put people in place. So multiple streams of income is great, but focus on that one stream. And then once you do that, now you create the other streams. So now this is your solid business. It's flowing like crazy. Now you're feeding the other streams. Now they're flowing like crazy. Now this is how the rich get richer, man. So you'll be the rich getting richer now. Number 6, avoid bad debt. 20% is knowledge. 80% is a change in your habit, right? So all debt isn't bad debt, right? If the debt is going to make you money, then it makes sense. So if you're going to be utilizing something, so let's say you get a line of credit or something like that, and you're going to utilize it and put it towards your business to make even more money so you can pay off that debt, then that could be great debt. But you just don't want to be getting into debt. People giving you credit cards, people just giving you loans, and you just spending it haphazardly, not really knowing what you're doing. So you definitely want to be doing your research. You want to know exactly the blueprint of how you're going to execute, so you can utilize whatever debt that you do have. If you do go out there and get a line of credit or something like that, then you'll know how to use it. You'll know how to make it work for you. So you just don't want to be going out there just getting stuff and just spending money all over the place. Now you're piling up so much debt, because when you do that, now you may start making money in your business, but you're going to have so much debt that you got to pay back. It's almost like you're not making any money. So just don't start to create debt all over the place, right? Yes, sometimes you're going to need a loan, or sometimes you're going to need a line of credit to get going, and that's fine. But before you start spending that money, make sure you do the research. Make sure you know how you're going to be spending this money, and understand what's your ROI going to be. So you always want to know your return on investment, because if you're just out there spending money, you have no idea. You're not able to track what you're doing and make sure it makes sense, then you shouldn't be spending any money that's not yours. You want to know exactly what you're going to be doing. So this is why people have a business plan. This is why people have a blueprint. This is why people have some type of foundational thing where they know exactly, okay, we're going to move like this. And then if that's not working, you want to make sure you pivot, and pivot fast, so you don't get into so much debt, because accumulating too much bad debt, Like I said, now you start making the money, but now you owe so much debt back. It's almost like just breaking even. You're not making any money. So you don't want that to be you. So really pay attention to how you're spending your money, what type of debt you're taking on. Like I said, some businesses you're gonna need some debt because that's the way you're gonna get off the ground. And I understand that. But you want to make sure that you're going to be spending it the right way, not just getting into debt or just spending money and just buying stuff that really doesn't make sense for you or your business. So make sure you pay attention, spend your money wisely. If you need lines of credit, you need a loan to get off the ground, and utilize that. But just don't utilize it in the wrong way. Don't go out there, be buying a car. Don't go out there, be buying a house. Don't go out there and be buying things that is not going to make you any money back, right? When you start in a business, you're trying to become a millionaire, you're trying to be rich, then you want to utilize the money wisely so you can catapult, so you can scale, so you can make more money than what you used. So now, if you use some debt, let's say you used 100,000, but you made 1,000,000, then that debt was worth it. That was a good debt for you. But if you spend 100,000 and you owe 500,000, that was bad debt. You don't want that type of debt. All right. So make sure you're not out here just creating bad debt, man. Go try to figure it out. Like you can bootstrap. I mean, I bootstrapped when I got into my business. I didn't have any money. I didn't go get no loans because they wasn't going to give it to me. I had no good credit. I didn't have anything. So loans, lines of credit, none of that stuff was going to work for me. So I had to figure it out, right? So I just bootstrapped. I used the money that I was making on my job, and I was just funding my company. So it's a lot of different ways you can get going. It's a lot of different ways you still can scale, but just don't be jumping out here getting bad debt for no reason. Number 7, you should be building an emergency fund. 63% of Americans can't even afford $500 for an emergency. So the key thing to this is you want to be putting away money. Like my philosophy is probably want to be putting away like 75% of what you're making, right? 25% you should be living on. I mean, if it was an emergency right now, could you survive, or would you have emergency money to go grab real quick and have it in case of an emergency? A lot of the world doesn't have it. A lot of Americans, a lot of the entire world, they don't have an emergency fund because they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they're spending the money that they're making. So you want to be putting money back. You want to be saving up to like 3 to 6 months of money so you can have this for an emergency. So something pop off, you need to get out of town, you need to make a move, you need to fly across country, you need to go to a family member, one of your relatives passed away, you need to go to a funeral, whatever it is, your mom need help or whatever the situation is, you want to have some type of emergency fund, want to have some money put up. So don't go out there just splurging all your money. Save some money, put it up, put some months worth of money up. I mean, even years if you can. Like you always want to be stacking your bread, right? You're going to be, having stuff that you got to pay for your business, and that's going to be an expense. So you're going to have your expenses. But outside of your expenses, you need to be building your emergency fund. It's very important because if you need to move tomorrow, not move physically, but just go, somebody needs you to come, or you got an emergency to just pop off, you got to have some type of money built up. You have to have some type of money built up, or you're going to be in a situation where you're stuck. Now you're like, now you gotta call your cousins, call your family members. You don't want to be that person, because guess what? They're not gonna be there for you. They're not gonna give you no money. They're gonna be like, they don't have it. So you never want to be in that position. You should rather be in position for your family to call you and ask you for money, opposed to you needing to hit them up and be like, hey, I need some money. I got this emergency popped off. I can't pay my rent. I can't do this. I need to go over here, but I can't do it. You don't want that to be you. You don't want to be a beggar, or, in position where you can't do for yourself and your family. Especially if you have a family, you definitely want to be in position to be able to move on an emergency. Number 8, create healthy habits. It takes about 66 days for a new behavior to become an automatic habit. So you want to come up with a routine. Like you want to have some type of routine that you do on a day-to-day basis, and you want to be consistent, right? This is the major word, is consistent. Because some people will start doing something, a week, 2 weeks, and then they stop. So to create a habit, you got to continue to do these things over and over. It's like a ritual. So when you wake up, okay, I'm gonna do this. This time I'm gonna do this. This is my everyday ritual and routine that I'm gonna be doing on a day-to-day basis. And I'm telling you, once you lock into something like that, you'll be more focused. You'll be like laser sharp because now you have this routine that you're going to follow every day. So as long as you continue to be consistent, as long as you lock in on that routine and don't, every day is not going to be the same, right? So you may fall off balance, here and there, but try to be as consistent as possible, because it's going to be your routine. If you stick to this routine, like it's just going to become a habit. It's just automatic. If you think about anything in your life that you try to do over and over and over, it was like it was a habit at that point. It's like if you didn't do it, you're like it didn't feel right. So if you want to create these good habits, then you just come up with a routine, right? Even if that's you wake up in the morning and you just say thanks to God about everything that you have, and then maybe you go work out, and then after that maybe you go take your shower, and then after that maybe you pray. Whatever your routine is going to be, do it. But you got to do it over and over. You got to be consistent. You got to make it a habit to do it, because now it'll be something that'll be in your life, and now to just be that routine. You can wake up and you just do it automatically. So you want to always be creating great habits, whatever that is. You want to do it on a day-to-day basis, be consistent with it, and just continue to create good habits. Number 9, prioritize your health. 76% of millionaires at least work out 30 minutes a day, right? They take this seriously because your health equals your wealth. If you don't have health, then you can't even chase wealth. It's nothing you can do without your health. You don't want to be in the hospital sick and trying to become a millionaire, trying to make money. It's just not going to be possible. So you have to, that's going to be like it's going to be like a number one thing that you have to focus on, because without your body, you can't move. Without your health, you can't do anything. So you want to make sure you really start eating healthy. You're exercising, you're taking this stuff seriously, because you're going to need your body to do anything. When you're sick, you don't want to do nothing. You want to lay down. You want to stay in the bed. You don't want to do anything. So for you to be vibrant, for you to be able to move, for you to become that generational wealth person for your family, you're gonna need your health. So I want you to really focus in on that. Like really think about what it is you need to do. Like, do you have high cholesterol? Do you have high blood pressure? Now you got to start focusing and trying to figure out how you can get these things down. What you need to do. Is it the food that you're eating? Are you not exercising? Do you smoke? Maybe you need to stop smoking. Do you drink all the time? Maybe you need to stop drinking. Like if you want to be wealthy and healthy, then these are the things that you have to do. You got to combine these things. So everything that I'm teaching, all these strategies, you got to combine all this stuff. So it's not a one size fits all. You're gonna have to combine all the stuff that I'm talking about today, and you got to bring it together and figure out how you can fit it into your life so that you can be a success, so that you can be, get to these new levels, so you can be a multimillionaire, so you can be a billionaire. Like you got to focus on these things. So your health is going to be that number one thing that you really have to focus in on, because like I said, without your health, it's no way possible to get wealth. I mean, you got to think about right now, if you think about in your family, if you have any family members right now, of course you got some family members that's sick. Do you think they probably took their health for granted, or so don't take your health for granted. Like right now you got your hands, you got your feet, but if you end up losing one, now you'll really be thinking about, okay, how important this hand was to me. So don't take it for granted. Don't take your health for granted, man. Really pay attention to that. It's going to be number one. I mean, think about your family. The people that are sick in your family right now. Because if you know your family, if you're close to your family, you definitely got some family members that's sick and they're going through things, and some of the stuff could have been avoided. So if you focus on that right now and avoid these things that they're going through, now you can have longevity, you can live a longer life. Now you can really can enjoy your money and progress. Number 10, read one book a week. 85% of millionaires at least read 30 pages of a book daily. If you don't understand, people have literally dumped so much knowledge into books. When you don't pick them up, you don't learn anything. You can learn so much stuff from a book, but if you don't pick it up, how you going to know? A lot of successful people, a lot of millionaires, they read because it's messages in the book. It's teaching them how to do these things that they've been doing, how to scale, how to do this, how to market. I mean, anything that you want to know, it's in a book. And this is why so many people are not successful, because they're not reading. They don't read. They don't even pick up a book. Not even in a year, they don't even read one book. So you got to be different. If you really want to see these millions, if you really want to be the multimillionaire that you're talking about, then you need to be reading. Read books, pick them up, go to the library. Most of them are free. So you want to really lock in and always be growing in your mind, always be learning new things, always be just churning your brain. You got to continue to keep it going, because if you don't, then you stop growing. And if you stop growing, your wealth will stop growing. So look, man, get a book, read it. And all you got to do is, if you don't know which book to read, whoever you follow, whoever you may network with, whoever you may follow online, social media, if they're successful, find out what books they're reading and read those books, because there's something in there. It's a message in there that you can get from that, so that will help you get ahead just like them. So even if you don't know, don't pick up just any book. Pick up a book where you see success in somebody. If you see somebody who's successful and they like, look, go read this book, this book, this book, then you should be going to read this book, this book, this book. It's a reason why they're saying this to you. So look, if you want to know, if you want to find out the messages, you want to find out what all the success, what all the millionaires, what all the successful people are doing, go pick up a book. You remember reading Rainbow, right? Yeah, take a look. The center of a book. It's reading Rainbow. Real thing though. So go pick up a book, man. Go learn something. Go get some more knowledge. Get some more growth. Number 11, use money to make money. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So you always want your money to be compounding. This is how you build generational wealth. All the rich people, all the millionaires, all the wealthy people, this is how they create wealth. They're not out here in the trenches every day trying to figure it out, hustling and bustling and tussling, trying to get this money. No, like I told you in the previous strategy, they've already created that major stream. Now they're taking that money and using it as leverage to fuel everything else. Now it's compounded. So with the banks don't tell you, right? A lot of people will sit their money in the bank. And I don't care if you had $10,000, $20,000 sitting in that account. Over a 12-month period, that money is not going to grow literally at all. They're not going to even give you 1% back on that money. So how long do you think sitting that money in a bank account, it will grow? It's not going to grow. So you got to find other vehicles to place your assets in, and that's your money. You want to place these assets so you can get in 8 to 10% on your money. And you can let that sit right now because it's growing. So now, instead of you even going back to mess with the money you invested, you can literally live off the interest that's compounding. So you gotta always be thinking and get smarter. Don't think that the banks are gonna look out for you. They don't look out for you. What the banks do is they want you to have an account. They want you to sit the money in there. And what the banks do is they go out into the market, trade your money, loan your money out, make money on your money, and give you nothing. So if you didn't know that, now you know. This is what the banks are doing. They are using our money to make way more money. And guess what? They give us nothing. They don't even give us pennies back. So if you really want to see wealth, You got to be finding these vehicles so you can dump your money into, so you can create the generational wealth that you want, right? So, like, building wealth is the number one thing, because you will have people who are, so you will have people who are rich, right? But rich does not equal wealth, because rich people go out and just blow their money. They rich, they got it, but they blow it. Wealthy people build. They get the compound interest. The money continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And this is how you see families who the money just continues to live on longer than any of their family members. It's like, yes, this new generation, they're already wealthy. The next generation is going to be wealthy. The next generation is going to be wealthy because they've already built the wealth, and now it just goes to generation to generation. And this is how the families like the Rockefeller and all these big, these big family organizations continue to grow. Because guess what? They've already built the generational wealth. They've taught their children. They've taught their children's children. So as the generations come, they teach them how to keep it in the family, and the money continues to grow. So look, now I know if you came this far, then you must be serious. You must be serious about becoming that multi-millionaire, millionaire, whatever. You just want to see success. You want generational wealth. You want to continue to grow. You want to build, right? So look, I got a community of people where I teach people how to make 10K a month with a business model that you probably never even heard of. I post a lot of educational content. I really help the community out. I give back. I just put I put a lot out there, to help you grow as well. So if you're really serious about what you're doing and you want to become a millionaire, you really want to have success, you want to have the generational wealth, listen, click on the link below. Tap in with me, and I promise you'll thank me later.